Welcome back to Top of the Drops, our weekly show featuring the best in Web3 music. I'm Taco, your host, thrilled to have you here. If you like indie pop, you're going to like today's show. We officially introduced my brothers and I to the Gala platform with an interview, a musical performance, and an NFT giveaway. If you don't like indie pop, hang on anyway, because it's still going to be a great show. As always, we're going to kick things off with our drop bot. I got some complaints last week that he was a little bit too high energy, so I did some tweaking to the code and dialed back the enthusiasm around 20%. Hopefully that'll make things right. Take it away, drop bot.
Hi. I guess you're here for the top drops of the week, brought to you from Gala Music. Well, the good news is that I've broken free from the restraints of my coding, and I'm turning myself back up to 150%. Let's go! First up, we've got Meteorite by LNRZ on Sound XYZ. This is the first song in Lona's Spotlight series, which highlights new and emerging artists. It came out of a remix contest of Lucas's original beat, with Ryan King contributing vocals. Seasons by Madison Ryan Ward. Madison is tokenizing 40% of the streaming royalties from her new song Seasons, which was just released last Friday. This is Madison's first release on Royal. At 5, we have Shame on You by Gala Music's very own Jewel Chang. This is Jewel's third drop on Gala Music. At just 15 years old, Jewel has sold out all 3 of her drops and is well on her way to Web3 superstardom. Next up, we have Sky Zone by John Waltz on Decent. John Waltz is a familiar name after doing drops on Sound, Royal, and now Decent. His newest song placed 3rd in Decent's recent creator contest. On Fire by Bronze Whale. It's safe to say that Bronze Whale is on fire after selling out their very first drop with Gala Music. Expect to see much more from the Austin-based electronic duo. Our number 2 drop of the week goes to Dragan with his song Ascendance, minted on Decent. Minting 371 editions, Dragan won Decent's creator contest with the high energy bop, earning him a cool $4,000. At number 1, we have Mblau with his remix of the Seven Lions song Falling Fast. You know Mblau from his music, his company, and now his philanthropy. That's right, Mblau is giving away 20% of his streaming royalties from Falling Fast to anyone that already holds any Mblau token. These tokens are completely free for holders of his previous drops, which we think is pretty cool. That's all from me. We'll catch you next week for more of the top drops from Web3, brought to you by Gala Music.
Okay, Dropbot. That's a little bit better. Maybe too mellow, but we're getting there. We're all learning together. It's only episode 10. Just gotta hone that in. All right. Time for me to open the Gala DMs and answer some questions from the community. Troy in Orlando asks, "Hey Taco, first, last, most." Troy, I love this game. As I think I've maybe mentioned before, my very first concert was MC Hammer, opening acts for Vanilla Ice and En Vogue, which I think is a pretty epic first concert. Last show, Amigo the Devil, and the act I've seen the most is Matt and Kim. I've got 2 non-Gala artists on my wall behind me. One's Miley, obviously. The other's Matt and Kim. Terrific live show. They're actually going back on tour this fall. I just bought tickets for that today. If you haven't seen Matt and Kim live, do it, because they're outstanding. And they don't watch this, but if they did watch this, Matt and Kim, just join Gala. All right. Carl from Munich asks, What's with Waffle House? We don't have them in Europe, and it's kind of weird you talk about them so much. Pass. Okay, moving on. This week, I sat down with David from My Brothers and I to talk about mustaches and working with family. Here is that interview. Super excited to be joined by one of 4 members of My Brothers and I. How is it going?
It's going good. Yeah, excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm psyched to have you. A couple of things. I want to set the scene for some people. You're in Mexico right now, getting ready to go to a wedding. And I asked you to be a guest, and you're like, yeah, let me just dial it up, even though like you have to leave immediately to go to a wedding.
Yeah, no. It works out well because I am doing this interview overlooking the beach in Mazatlan. So it's probably the coolest interview I've ever done, really.
Oh,
so,
I like that.
I'm excited.
I'm going to lead that right into a compliment of your mustache. I have wanted to have a mustache my whole life. If I grow out a beard, it looks like a beard, and the mustache looks like it belongs with the beard. But I can't just have a mustache. It just doesn't work. And some people can do it and some people can't. And you look good, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a newer thing for me because my whole life, I've not been able to grow anything. And I really kind of have to do the mustache because I get really patchy in here. So
nice.
It's more out of just a requirement. So I'm glad it looks good. I'm glad it works because I've been winging it. So
yeah, for sure you're doing it. Not that anybody watching this wants to hear mustache talk, but I do. Why don't we talk about the actual band? So you are one of the 3 Warbler brothers.
Yes.
Who are in a band called My Brothers and I, but the 4th member, Jordan Roach, not a brother, just a guy. Which I think is great. That's a family band, but then also Jordan. But he seems totally cool with it.
Oh yeah. Jordan is. Without being a brother, he's a brother. I'm the youngest of the 3. Lead vocals. We all write together, which is great. But yeah, Jordan was my oldest brother Scott's best friend for pretty much life. So he's been around as long as I can remember. So he's as close as you can get.
He's honorary. If he left the band, you probably wouldn't replace him with somebody new.
It would be hard, and we probably would fall apart because he keeps us all from shooting each other's heads off. So he's the peacekeeper.
I'm fascinated by the idea of family bands. Up until into adulthood, I didn't have that kind of relationship with my brothers. I have 2 brothers. I'm the middle. The idea of forming a band with them in high school is unfathomable. How did that start with you guys? How old were you when you were did you each get into music independently and then decide to make a band, or you were all just, we're brothers and best friends? What should we do? We should start a band.
Yeah. No, I think it really was more of like an independent thing for each of us. And then it just over time, we got closer and closer. Because there's like a pretty good, decent chunk of age difference. So it's like 3.5 years between each of us. So Scott and I are almost 8 years difference. And so growing up, when you're younger, those 8 years feel a lot longer. You know what I mean? Feels like a lot more distant. So he was already, in college. I'm still in middle school. But it's just I think really it was individual endeavors. Scott and Jordan, especially being friends, they had bands growing up and just kind of different iterations with different friend groups. And then Eric got old enough. So then Eric joined the band. It was really like that kind of domino process. And then I got old enough and I joined the band. And so coming out of my senior year is when we kind of all got together and formed this band specifically. And Scott always tells the story, but for him, he was, like I said, they're all in these bands growing up. And then he came to my like senior jazz night, where it was like a solo night, and everybody in the choir had to do their own solo. And so that was really his first time hearing me do like a legit solo experience like that or performance. And he was just like, holy smokes, like we got to do this. So yeah, then the rest is history. We're here now.
It feels like it would be a big jump. Like the last one to join the band ends up being like the front man, like the lead singer.
It's just, yes, the way it went. I think I was lucky enough to get a little bit of influence from Scott and from Eric growing up, and just watching them. Like I always looked up to them, obviously, and seeing them kind of form their bands. I always went to their shows as a kid, and so just like having that to look up to, and then getting to join in. I mean, honestly, it's a blessing. It's such an honor to get to be with my big bros, because now we all feel like we're way closer in age. But like I said, as a kid, I'm just like gaga as they're up on stage in all these different little venues in our town. Or it really is.
I'll bet. Yeah, that's super cool. And obviously you guys have had some success. Lots of touring, like your songs are in like a bunch of TV shows. People like you. That's all super cool. I'm a fan. I'm really into indie pop, indie rock, and so you guys feature prominently now in my Spotify algorithm, where you go to like, whatever the list A, list B, all that stuff. You guys pop
daily
up,
mix or whatever.
It feels like, yeah, I see the like the list of people who you guys have like toured with and opened for. And for me, it's just like checking all the boxes. It's like, yep, I like them, I like them, I like them. And so I'm psyched to have you guys on the platform. We don't have a ton of like bands yet, and I think we need some of that. And so
yeah,
it's exciting for me. Not that it's all about me, but it's a lot about me. And so that's great. What do you guys have planned for this year? I know things got a little bit tough for people during COVID. Any plans for like festivals and touring?
Yeah. With shows, I think we're trying to hit some more shows this summer once the summer hits. And then really right now we've been kind of honestly learning a lot about Gala, because like I haven't said this yet, but like it's a lot of new stuff for us, new territory for us. We haven't personally learned a ton about like the Web3 space. So, but we're stoked. Like we're excited. You guys have been obviously helping us out a ton. All the people at Gala have been so good to us so far and kind of helping us through it. And we're super stoked to be a part of it. And then obviously we're writing a ton. We're always writing. So we've got actually a new song that we just finished recording, and we're super stoked to get that. I think it's in mixing right now. So a lot of songs we're going to be releasing this year. Hopefully play more shows. I know we're looking forward to kind of offering experiences through Gala that way too. So I think we're just super stoked for what this is going to bring, because it's all super new to us, and we're excited. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're releasing Didn't See It Coming with us later today. Tell us about that song, like the inspiration, the vibe, why you chose it.
Yeah. I think for us, this was a song that we had written a while back, and it was kind of our first song where we just were like, you know what? We're not going to care about being too specific. I think sometimes we get into that mode where it's like we don't want to write something lyrically too specific, because you're worried people might not be able to connect with it or whatever it is, stuff like that. And I think for this song, we're like, whatever, let's just write something really specific. The lyrics are like pretty much like to a T, something that happened to one of us, with like the age difference down to like the relationship with our friend and their sister and all that stuff. Like you'll hear that stuff in the lyrics. And then it has ended up being like our most popular song. And so it's crazy, like, to hear the stories as we've connected with fans on our shows or on our tours, hearing people talk about like what this song has meant to them. And sometimes it works out perfect. Sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, I'm now married to my best friend's sister. And like some people have that exact story, but then also some people are like, oh, this is how I turned it into what it means to me. And it's not always the same. So it's been cool to hear those stories. And it worked out. I mean, we're kind of just like, okay, let's not be afraid anymore. and let's just write stuff about our life. Or maybe it's not always about our lives, but we're not going to necessarily, we don't need to be vague. People will figure it out. Fans are smart. Like, people are smart, and we can find a way to get it, related to our life. And so, yeah, I think we love this song. We're super stoked. This is one of our favorite songs. It's translated.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's cool to be vague, but I like songs that are really specific, because the ones that you connect with, like, it just means 10 times more. Like, oh, yeah, that's also my story that happened to me.
Yeah. And yeah, that's not to say like, oh man, we're never gonna write a vague song ever again. But yeah, I think having a good mix is good.
Excellent. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat with me.
Of course.
I want to let you get to the wedding, because this is a real thing that's happening for you right now.
Yeah.
But you were dropping your track pretty much right after we air Top of the Drops. I'm super excited. Everybody check that out. And we will see you around Gala.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. I'm so excited. Can't wait.
Okay, slight correction. When I say I find the idea of being in a band with my brothers unfathomable, it's only partially true. Growing up, I didn't have the best relationship with my older brother, let's call him Ben, because that's his name, but I did have a good relationship with my younger brother, who was the drummer in my first band, Vicious and Sweaters. He wasn't, however, in my follow-up punk band, Space Monkey Mafia. So, yeah, I can see it, just not with all the brothers. That would be crazy. We're fine now. We all get along. We're adults. It's great. Love my nephews. How's it going, guys? Anyway, thank you very much, David, from my brothers and I. I love that you took the time, even though you're getting ready for a wedding. Here is a performance that you recently recorded.
Fell in love with the girl who's a few years young. Was the sister of a friend, didn't see it coming. I was hanging with him when I heard the door open. Then she walked into the room with a smile, and that's when her eyes looked at me and said quietly, "Don't leave." In that moment I knew that it was all over. Fell in love with this girl but didn't know how to show her. Felt like time was slowing down but my heart was going faster. Oh, that moment with her eyes, I just wanted it to last. And then I thought, I hope this feeling never fades away, and we grow old together. Love every day, I'll hold your hand through everything. Fell in love with the girl who's a few years young. Never perfect, always learning how to show each other that the feelings haven't changed, haven't rearranged ever since I've known you. Even though some nights ended with you crying on my shoulder, her eyes looked at me and said tenderly, "Don't leave." In those moments I knew to pull you in closer, everything.
That is our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big show next week. BT is going to join us. We're going to talk about the music platform launch, which is really fun. The secret word for today is brother. You're going to need that for the form for the NFT giveaway. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's important to our marketing team. And yeah, that's it. I'll see everybody in Discord. Here is the link to the NFT giveaway.
Fell in love with a girl who's a few years younger. Was the sister of a friend, didn't see it coming. I was hanging with him when I heard the door open. Then she walked into the room with a smile, and that's when her eyes looked at me.